3-episode rule is something that every anime fan should know about. You give an anime 3 episodes to decide if it's worth continuing. The rule helps you to avoid wasting time on something that is not going to be worth your time. Today we're going to be covering Windbreaker, high energy, delinquent anime with intense fights and a focus on brotherhood and protecting the weak. But does it have what it takes to stand out? Or is it just going to be another generic tough guy, limpy anime? Let's see if Windbreaker passes my 3-episode rule. Episode 1, Sakura. The opening scene of the anime is one of anxiety and dread. We see an individual walking on a tightrope as all their insecurities are being shouted into their skull, making fun of his appearance, ostracizing him and belittling him, till all the voices slow down and say at the same time, disgusting. Our tightrope walker falls. What a way to humanize our main character right off the bat. In a creative way too, very visually imposing, yet simplistic. The music and sound design also set most of the atmosphere within this scene. Who was the tightrope walker? Haruka's Sakura, a young man who only cares about the strong and hates those who are weak. And tomorrow he starts his first day at Furin High. Sakura quickly encounters some thugs who try to pick a fight with him, and without hesitation he takes them down with incredible precision. His fighting style is fluid and fast, showing that Sakura is a force to be reckoned with. This fight isn't to show dominance over this gang. Sakura has a much more personal purpose. He's searching for strength and doesn't care who gets in his way. It just so happens that these thugs were bothering a woman and prepares a meal for him to say thank you for saving her. Her name? Totaha Kakibana. Although he's embarrassed when interacting with her, probably due to the anxieties we saw in the opening, he puts on a brave face. Through the conversation he reveals why he moved here, why attend Furin, as it's known for having the toughest fighters around, a heaven for rejects and losers, something our main character is all too ready to accept and admit. His goal is to stand at the top and be the best fighter in Furin. She lets him know that that is never going to happen. It takes more than that to lead. Later when he leaves, the same gang from before come back in spades and confront him. However, they cross a line. They made fun of his appearance and he pops off. However, Kotaha gets caught in the crossfire again. So, the dynamic of this fight has changed. He is caught between fighting and protecting her, and when he's about to take a blow that could be fatal, Furin appears, 4 members of such, and they take down the rest of the gang. These students are Windbreakers. The students of Furin protect this area from thugs and criminals. The delinquents from this school are beloved by the town and cared for by the town as they care for them. Sakura realizes that he might not have to be alone anymore. He can be part of something greater, something actually meaningful. The school itself, Furin High, is home to a group of powerful delinquents who protect the surrounding town, as I said. This sets Windbreaker apart in some regards compared to other delinquent school settings, something like Tokyo Revengers. While most anime with this premise focus on the gangs and fighting for power to better their gang, the delinquents have a deeper sense of purpose. They protect their community. This contrast provides a unique dynamic, and it quickly becomes clear that Sakura's arrival will disrupt this delicate balance. This is genuinely one of the best first episodes I've watched in a while. Look, I don't love the concept, but it delivers everything you could want from an opening episode. A strong introduction to our main character and his goals and what drives him. An interesting world and area for our story to take place in, with that area itself having a strong and distinct character and a cast of supporting characters, and have a healthy and entertaining relationship and a genuine impact on our main character. We can see that Sakura is already a good way through his positive change arc already and has plenty to learn and grow from with this newfound place in this greater world at Furin. And that's just the narrative and tone. The animation is deadly and the fights have great tempo and choreography and fight choreography. Not to mention the fights so far feel distinct. You know, compared to other action shonen. It's grounded yet exaggerated. Like, how is he able to jump over all these people? Well, because of the rule of cool. My only question is, will episode 2 live up to the same quality? Episode 2. This episode opens with a scene that further displays Sakura moving away from his single selfish goal and is seen branching out and helping out other people, the people of this new town, as they show him respect that he has never had in his previous life. These freaks treat him with kindness and respect. It's just too good to be true. However, the episode introduces the tales to Sakura's Sonic. His name is Nirei.
Are you feeling stressed out? It could be psychosomatic.
Huh? Stressed? Psychosoa?
After their first interaction, Sakura sees Nirei as nothing more than a poser. A guy like him can't fight. They're always first to run away. He reflects on this as he makes his way around town. The people keep gifting him, by the way, whatever they can to say thanks for his actions in the previous episode. He laments the possibility of him being the problem. Was he the one who just assumed that these people would hate him? That's when a woman jump scares his ass and asks for his help. Nirei interrupted some thugs that were bothering a young woman, and they start to gang up on him. Regardless of the odds, Nirei opposes them in any way he possibly can. Doesn't matter how desperate or pathetic he might look, this guy has heart. Needless to say, Sakura made it in time before anything too bad happened. Through this interaction, Sakura developed a begrudging respect for Nirei in his own way. Nirei offers to show Sakura around the town and give him information on all the other fighters in the area. Nirei might not be a strong fighter, but he is passionate and keeps detailed tabs on all the fighters, gangs, and just the surrounding area at whole. Sakura and Nirei make their way to Furin High because they're in the same grade. When they get to their classroom, Sakura's deeds from the first episode have already gotten around and granted him a bit of a reputation, and seemingly a good one. However, he announces his goal of becoming the head of the school, and with this causes our next main character to throw the first blow in a punch we don't get to see yet. Now, I will say Nirei as a character is one of those characters that you're either gonna love or really hate. The character that's there for comic relief. That character's been there forever. It's just this offshoot of comic relief character that for some reason the comedy is supposed to come out from how fucking annoying they are. And this guy is, in my opinion, one of those characters. Sure, there's some moments that I thought were genuinely pretty funny, but for the most part, he's a sniveling little brat until he needs to explain something, in which cases he changes to a completely different person, a very analytical and smart person. That's how I feel now in the moment after watching the second episode. I assume that this isn't the type of person he remains as for the rest of the story. Not to mention, his drive and passion is fairly shallow, all things considered. He used to get bullied and now he wants to be cool. This, compared to Sakura's motivations, aren't remotely complex, but seem complex next to Nirei's. At the very least, Sakura comes from a place of genuine despair and loneliness. You see the trauma in the awkwardness he has with every person he sees. Like his attitude towards the average person. He seems to be genuinely surprised whenever anyone is remotely kind to him. But I'm just nitpicking. Episode 3, a fight starts. Neither fighters can land a hit until Sakura lands a surprise blow using the momentum of a slip to land a kick to his opponent's face. After that point, the fight is interrupted by the intercom. The head of Furin is giving the morning announcement. All the students lock in like they're soldiers, all showing respect for the head of this school. Yurumiya himself advises for the newcomers to avoid fighting on their first day and focus on protecting the town. This leads to a truce between Sakura and Sugihara, fostering a sense of temporary camaraderie among these two students and the greater class as a whole, because there's a bit of banter had after the fact. After this altercation, the class meets one of the heads of Bofurin. Bofurin, by the way, is just the gang that runs the school. One of the 4 captains is responsible for their class. Here we're explained what the structure of Bofurin is, highlighting that under Yamada's leadership, there are 4 kings, each overseeing a class. The students then embark on a town patrol, engaging community service and activities like painting over graffiti, much to Sakura's disappointment and complete and utter flabbergasted. During their patrol, they encounter a student from their town. He has a swollen eye and is being pursued of members of Shitoren, a rival group. Sakura and his opponent from the previous fight intervene, and this other gang are psychos. Their second in command starts just beating on the guy that got taken out by Sakura, saying that if you ever lose a fight, you're no longer welcome among our ranks, or something along those lines, and then departs, but not before throwing out shade because they intervened in what they were doing. The episode concludes with the group reporting the incident to the head of Furin, who is unexpectedly found tending to his rooftop garden, displaying a cheerful and childlike demeanor that contrasts sharply with his, figure of authority, being the leader of the goddamn gang. At the end of the day, Windbreaker was genuinely a very strong anime, at least in the first 3 episodes. As I said, episode 1 is one of the best openings I've ever seen. Episode 2 opens up the cast and further shows the direction the main character is going to travel through this story. And episode 3 sets up our first roadblock, building up mystery, tension, both Furin itself and its opposition. And now, well, I have to binge season 1 as fast as possible because it passes the 3 episode rule and I want to watch season 2 as it airs. Needless to say, I quite liked it.